This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Pensacola State Today. I'm your host, Drexel Gilbert, and I'm so pleased that you've joined us today. On today's program, Pensacola State College President Dr. Ed Meadows drops in to talk about scholarship opportunities for students. PSC's Visual Arts Department is getting a lot of attention, not just for the program, but for the students, and we'll find out more about that, as well as see some award-winning photography by PSC students. And you'll meet an instructor who is making a difference in the lives of his students at Pensacola State College. First today, we'd like to welcome Pensacola State College President Dr. Ed Meadows to the studio. And Dr. Meadows, today we're going to be talking about something that's uppermost on most, if not all, of the students that make a decision to attend college, because once you make that decision to attend college, the question that you ask most often, how am I going to pay for it? And there are avenues to do so, including scholarships. What are we going to talk about in that area today?
Well, you know, Drexel, you're exactly right. When you start talking about making a major investment of your time in attending college to pursue either a specific career track or to get a liberal arts degree, you have to think about, you know, how do you afford to do that? A very large percentage of our students continue to work full-time or part-time while they're pursuing their studies here. We have traditional age high school graduates that come to Pensacola State and transfer on. And then we have the non-traditional students that are already in the workforce that have been there for several years. And regardless of if you're working full-time or part-time, you still need financial aid. You know, the college awards about $25 million a year in federal financial aid and over $1 million in state aid. But there are a lot of students that do not qualify for that kind of financial aid, or they do not qualify in a sufficient way to cover the full cost of tuition fees and books. And that's where our institutional scholarships and our foundation scholarships come in to bridge the gap. And sometimes we have scholarships that pay the full amount for a student. For example, last year we awarded almost $2 million from our foundation and other sources, our institutional scholarships to students. And most of these were bridging the gap between what the student could get through state or financial or veterans assistance to the full cost of tuition. If we look at our foundation, we have a huge number of individuals in our community that give every year for foundation scholarships. We are announcing in May a major $100,000 endowed scholarships for culinary students. This will be an endowed scholarship is where you only use the interest off of the principal to award scholarships, and right now we're thinking that will be $500 a semester, or $500, well, it could be a semester, and that certainly would pay for books or bridge the gap between what a student may need to finish out their fees or even their tuition. If you look at new scholarships that have occurred recently, we just started through a major gift and alumni association scholarship, both endowed and also non-endowed for people interested in applying. And that's not a hard thing to do at Pensacola State. You can apply online, or you can go by any one of our campuses and go to the financial aid office.
Well, and I wanted to show while you're talking about that. Here's a form. It's one sheet, I think maybe two. You just fill it out, and it's very easy. And as you said, you can print them out. You can go online. You can print it out, fill it out. It's an easy process. How do the students find out about the plethora of scholarship opportunities?
Well, we actually have all of the scholarship categories listed online. We have them in our college catalog. Our foundation has all their scholarships listed online as well. Also, when you come to speak to an advisor about the major that you want to pursue, they'll tell you about specific scholarships that are discipline specific. And for those students, prospective students that are out of state, for example, those that live in Baldwin County, there are even scholarships that are designated for Baldwin County residents. And also it's a scholarship loan program that you can apply to, where if you are in a health science field and you come to Pensacola State from Baldwin County and return back home, once you get your health science or nursing degree, that loan becomes a scholarship. So there's a lot of different opportunities for people in the region, just not just in Santa Rosa or Escambia counties. The nice thing about our scholarship dollars is that we're about half of the cost of a university, and we have a reciprocal agreement in Alabama where the counties that touch Florida, those students can attend for our in-state tuition plus $10 a semester hour.
Okay.
So, you know, a lot of good opportunities in scholarships. So I encourage all of prospective students to go to our website, come by and visit our financial aid office, and we'll give you information. And like you said, you fill out one page, you look at the discipline, you talk to your advisor, you go online to the foundation, the college foundation, or to the college admission web page, and you can find out all about scholarships offered at Pensacola State College.
Okay, and so there may be those who are watching us today and thinking, well, that all sounds that sounds great, but is it really going to matter to me and make a difference? And so what we would like to do is for you to hear in her own words the difference that being a scholarship student has made to this student. Meet Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily Boswell, and I'm 31 years old. I am a nursing student here at Pensacola State College, and I received the Universal Scholarship. The Universal Scholarship has paid for the class I'm in right now, which is Adult Health 1, where we learn about the different systems of the body and the disorders and diseases of the body, and then nursing interventions and ways to help patients with those disorders. If I did not have this scholarship, I would be putting this class on my credit card or getting student loans to cover the cost. My mom is my personal hero and my mentor. She is the reason I'm in nursing school right now. She went to nursing school as a single mother of 2 children when she was my age. She's now a nurse practitioner and is pursuing her doctorate degree. She actually won the Nurse Practitioner of the Year award for the entire state of Alabama in 2013. We're so very proud of her, and she's definitely the reason I'm where I am today. My son Asher was born in November 2010. And as soon as he was born, everything changed. I just realized I had to be the best version of myself that I could be for him. I want him to be as proud of me as I am of my own mother. I currently work in a veterinary hospital here in Pensacola and have been there for the last 10 years. And this job has really just taught me how to be a nurse already, how to love and care and nurture someone, even if they have 4 legs and not 2. And I'll hopefully take the love I have for the animals and just be able to transfer it to people. I will be graduating in December 2015. Yay! The clinics that we're in right now have really just helped me realize that I have varying interests. I love oncology. I love being there for these people in really hard times. I love geriatrics. They have so much to teach us and so much that they need to say, and they just want somebody to listen. I love pediatrics as well, these tiny little people that are just coming into the world and everything is new with them. And their parents are just so excited to see them on their journeys in life. So I haven't yet figured out what I want to do with my RN degree, but the great thing is I don't have to figure it out yet. I've still got time, and I can't wait to see where this job takes me. I have been married to my husband, Matt, for 7 years. I could not do nursing school without my husband. He is Mr. Mom right now. He makes dinner and cleans the house and takes care of our son. I could not be here without him, and I love him so much. I would like to say a huge thank you to the Pensacola State College Foundation and all of the wonderful faculty and staff for this amazing opportunity. Thank you so much.
So Emily Boswell says it all there about how much difference a scholarship can make in pursuing your higher education. Now, Dr. Meadows, one thing we want to tell potential students out there, don't ever count yourself out because you think you might not meet the criteria for a scholarship. There are lots of different scholarships on a wide variety for which they can apply.
And in the near future, we'll have a software package when a student applies to Pensacola State and they list that they would like to receive a scholarship. The computer software will automatically assess their application and list all of the potential scholarships that they're eligible for.
Great.
And there's one, though, that is a competitive scholarship that you actually have to show up and do an interview for, and that's our Student Ambassador Scholarship. That is our best scholarship at the institution. So if you're a recent high school graduate or GED recipient and wish to apply, it's a work scholarship where you represent the institution and you go out to high schools with our recruiters. You act as ushers at college functions, but that scholarship gives you a neat college-colored blazer, and also your tuition, your fees, and your books are paid for.
Wow.
For the first 2 years of your college costs at Pensacola State College.
And think of also, in addition to obviously the monetary value and the blazer, the experience that you get with that.
The resume building that goes with that is tremendous.
Awesome. And then there was one other scholarship you wanted to talk about before we have to
Well, this
say
is
goodbye.
actually a loan program that could become a scholarship,
Okay.
and that's the Fellows Foundation Scholarship for medical pre-med and health science fields. Where you can actually get a very interest-free loan to take you all the way through med school or through nursing school or through some particular health science program. Mm-hmm. And some seminary students are eligible for that degree as well, or that loan. And if you're in the medical field and get your MD and come back and practice in the rural area of the four-county panhandle, then that loan can be forgiven, and it actually becomes a scholarship then.
Nice.
And there's a web page, and we're linked to that web page. It's called the Fellows Foundation Scholarship Program.
All right. And we are putting the information on the screen right now where students, potential students, can go to the website to get more information on these opportunities that Dr. Meadows has shared with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Drexel.
All right. We will take a quick break and be right back. PSE's visual arts program is getting a lot of attention, not just for the quality of the program, which is very high, but also for the work the students are doing. And those students are racking up the awards and honors as well. Let's take a look as we take you to the Anna Lamar Switzer Center. A lot of exciting things going on with the visual arts program at Pensacola State College. One of the most exciting things just happened recently, and a lot of students received honors, and there was money involved in here, scholarship-wise. Talk to me about that.
Well, one of the best things that's happened recently is our annual student show, which is always culminated with the awards day. The faculty get together and we have a lot of scholarships. In fact, this year we gave away almost $26,000 worth of scholarships and cash prizes. A lot of people don't realize how expensive it is to be an art major. A lot of the classes they take don't require textbooks, but they have so many supplies and things they have to buy. So this is very well received, and it means a lot to them. The faculty gets together, decides on the work that's hung in the gallery, which is the best of the best work that they put up. And then from that, we decide who gets what. We give a lot of scholarships off during this program too. It's probably the biggest event we do for the students here is the awards day. Yeah. A lot of the work the students do here does translate out into the real world with the Addie Awards.
For those who don't know, what are Addie Awards?
Addie Awards are similar to the Oscars, which is in the movie industry. Locally, we have a competition with our students who will submit photography, graphic design, poster design, brochure designs, and they will enter that local competition. There's 2 awards that you can win. You could either win a silver or a gold. The golds will be forwarded to the district. The silvers are paid for again, which is a price of $25 to be forwarded to the district. The 3rd level is the national level, where the students will be judged by a whole group of new judges. The judges come from all over our district, which stretches from Pensacola all the way down to including the whole state of Florida and the Caribbean.
The Addie Awards is produced by the American Ad Federation, which is a group of professional advertising and marketing people all across the nation. Our students have done really well in the local, the district, and even the national levels for several years now. That's something we're really proud of.
This year, our students won 41 out of 61 of the Addie Awards, and we have always done very, very well. And the longer that we do this, the better that we do, and the more that we have a connection between graphic design and photography, the better that our students do in competition.
I submitted 3 photo entries and 1 stamp illustration. I actually won 5 awards with the Addies. It felt amazing to just, keep getting called up like, oh, one more award. It was definitely an interesting experience, and I made a lot of connections, met a lot of people in the ad agencies around here in Pensacola.
How do you believe that your participation in the Addie Awards is going to help you once you leave school and go into the business world?
It shows that I won Addies on this level here in Pensacola, and especially to win 5 Addies, I think that's a great accomplishment to put on my resume and, when I'm interviewed, to tell people.
I had 4 entries in the Addie Awards. I won 3 silvers and 1 gold locally, and those pushed forward to district where I won 2 silvers. Professionally, I recently got my first job offer in industry at Lamar Advertising, and I think that definitely helped showing that on my resume.
Being a student in the visual arts program at Pensacola State College, entering the Addie Awards is something that can catapult you once you leave school into the business world. It's a good deal for students. Talk about why.
They've been employed by local businesses and agencies, and they then submit work again at the professional level, and they win Addies again. It's really apparent that the work that they do here is what is getting the jobs that that they really want. So it's been able to foster their creativity and also get them to meet the right people as well so that they can get those jobs.
Absolutely.
The art department at PSC has a really strong reputation. We've got a lot of students who are leaving here with our 2-year degrees that are going on other places and doing well, either working or going on to 4 years. We actually offer now, and have been for a few years, a Bachelor of Applied Science in Graphic Design. That has turned into a really big program. A lot of the students they're used to would leave after they finish their 2-year program and go elsewhere, are now staying here, which has been a big benefit for us and for students.
Okay, and there's another announcement that we wanted to talk about involving the opening of a new studio.
That's true. We are working now with the architects designing things. We received a very generous donation from the Switzer, Lamar, and Riley families recently, and we will be building the Charles W. Lamar Studio, which is going to be a lecture hall and a new gallery space, plus room to house our permanent collection and do things like that. But this is going to be a space designed for this. It's going to have probably 25-foot ceilings in there, so we can, a lot of contemporary art that we couldn't necessarily bring in here, we will be able to house in there.
The visual arts program here at Pensacola State College definitely helped me kind of come out of my shell and meet people, and definitely with my photo skills, we have great teachers here, and I definitely blossomed with my photography skills and graphic design skills here in the past few years. I would definitely come to Pensacola for this program. It gives you a lot of connections. It definitely helped me grow, and the teachers here are amazing.
My experience in the visual arts department here at Pensacola State has been great. I've always been good at drawing. Coming here has allowed me to take something I've always done well in and turn it into a lucrative career. If you have an interest in art and want to make a career out of it, Pensacola State's definitely the place to go. As a lot of people have mentioned, we have a lot of people that leave here and go off to work in industry. They go on to win awards, and it's a very reputable school in the country, actually.
The quality of work that we see here, I would call incredible. I mean, we have some amazing students. Like I said, the work in the show is also picked by the faculty, so it is the best of everything. So the public, when they come in, really get a chance to see what the top students are doing here. And like I mentioned earlier too, I think the good thing about that is it kind of holds the bar high for everybody else to make them want to reach that level.
When we come back, we'll take a look at some award-winning photography by PSC students. When it comes to capturing life through the lens of a camera, PSC students do that very well, and they are also getting awards and recognition for their talents. Let's take a look.
The photography program at Pensacola State College is a 2-year program and essentially starts photographers or non-photographers from the very beginning, as if possibly they know nothing. So it gets your feet wet for 2 years, gets you essentially acclimated from film to digital capture to commercial industry, and gets the students prepared to literally take a step out into industry and become an assistant or a freelance photographer or commercial photographer upon graduation.
Well, they helped me develop the skills that I had. And I came here not really knowing anything about photography, but they helped me realize that I had a talent that I didn't know that I had. And it just helped. They helped with composition and how to light stuff and like the right moment to take a photo.
And these students do more than, I guess, make the grade with their photography skills. They also rack up some honors, and this happened recently.
They do. We get a lot of community support, specifically with a recent restaurant, Jocko's, who stepped forward and wanted to create a photography contest, and they specifically wanted to work with us in the photo department. They were serious enough after we sat down and had an interview that I decided that it was reliable enough and worthy to incorporate into part of the curriculum. The students had to take photographs at the end of Palafox Pier, and they had about a month to go out, and whenever there was a sunset, because the competition is a sunset photography contest, they would have to go out, document it as many times as they possibly could, and then what we decided to do is the students, obviously who submitted the work, also selected and juried the work. The end result was 13 photographs. Jocko's is interested in creating a calendar, and so what happens is the exhibit goes up, it's in Jocko's for the month of February, and the patrons of the restaurant get to jury, both on Facebook and patrons of the restaurant when they come in and eat. So what happened was Erin Amos, who happened to be selected with the most votes, got the award of being able to have her own exhibit in the month of April. That's where Erin stepped up and got to have how many pieces did you have in the show?
About 13.
13 pieces in the show, which is a great show if you guys haven't had an opportunity to see it.
Talk to me about the experience of being in this competition at Jocko's.
It was a really great experience because if we won, we could put our work in there and get our name out there. And it was just interesting to see all the people that come in and they compliment your work. It was great.
Tell me what went into taking the winning photograph that got you the opportunity to have your work displayed.
Well, really hard work went into that one. I went out there every day to make sure I got a picture that I really liked. I just kept going back out there every day and waiting for like the perfect sunset picture.
What kind of talent do you see move through these halls?
The talent that moves through Pensacola State College's halls is incredible. It's very moving as an instructor because you see students who already have it and don't know they have it, and you realize that they have the gift without even being taught. So it makes our job easier because all we have to do is foster and direct. And apparently we have a pretty strong draw and attention because those students seem to continually want to enroll at Pensacola State College.
My favorite photographs to take are probably, well, portraits of people and abstract work. I like to make stories with my photographs, have a series of work. That's what I have in Jocko's right now, is like all underwater series.
Are you planning to make a career out of photography?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my life.
One of the most important ingredients in the classroom at PSE would be the instructor. Pensacola State College has a wealth of great instructors, and many of them are being recognized and awarded for their excellence in the classroom. Let's meet John Holder, one of those instructors.
I started in 2001. I was looking for work and an opportunity came up and I caught the bug. When a full-time position opened, I applied and fortunately I was hired. And so I've been full-time here since January of 2009. I think that logic would be an excellent beginning for any student, no matter what discipline they're going into. And philosophy is a wonderful beginning, not just into the humanities, but into critical thinking and into really looking at the big questions, because we kind of touch on all the main areas. How do we know that we know, and what does it mean to know? We address questions of value. What is the primary basis for morality? Is it, duty, or is it the kind of person you're supposed to be? Is it character? These are all very big questions that come up in philosophy, and these are things I think that people struggle with throughout their lives. Whether it's a traditional student or even a non-traditional student, they all seem to say, this is the kind of stuff I've been wondering about. One of the key principles I try to get them to adopt is, I'm not asking you to believe any of this stuff, I'm asking you to try to understand it. Do they come away with more questions than answers? Sure. And that seems to define who we are as human beings, is that we are the species that asks questions. I'm sure that I don't do things the way my colleagues do. It just, amazes me how we all try to come together to pick up the slack and to be there for one another. It is a wonderful department to be a part of. And we just have a lot of very good people, and I'm very, very pleased. So this has been the most rewarding experience. I couldn't be happier, and there's nowhere else I want to be.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Pensacola State Today. I'm your host, Drexel Gilbert. We'll see you next time.